Hey everybody, welcome back to Sugar Wars. This is episode 8. I have a special guest host. Come on around, TD.
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be. I would have shaved if I was going to be on.
Well, I would have shaved too, but
Oh well.
hey, what are you gonna do? So this is my best friend TD. He is my co-founder of Stormbreaker Films. We're actually going to record something for that channel today, so please subscribe to Stormbreaker Films. We're going to do an advent calendar opening. He's been doing that. He brought me a special treat I can't eat, but they're absolutely incredible. He brought me some Idaho Spuds. Let me make sure this gets perfectly. Look at that. Oh, it's got egg albumin, so I couldn't have eaten these even 7 years ago. But I remember hunting these down so hard in McCall, Idaho. This is very nostalgic. Just to hold one again is quite a treat.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're like a local thing out there.
Yeah.
And there's a candy store nearby that sells all kinds of,
yeah,
hard to find confectionery stuff. And I'm like, if he's cutting out sugar, I saw a video where there were tribal Pakistani people trying these for the first time.
I'm going to set that there in a place of honor between my Bad Idea Final Five sticker, my Bad Idea button I got the other day. Just for the video, that's incredible.
But yeah, well, no, forever. And I mean, you can't eat it, so
but
just have it there, calcium.
But it is interesting though, because so Idaho Spud, this is something I hunted down. I loved. I every time I went up to McCall, Idaho for like a family vacation, I would seek these things out. But once I became vegetarian, I could still eat them because they had egg. But once I became vegan, then that sort of thing wasn't something I was hunting down anymore, because a switch flicked off in my brain where I got used to the idea of checking labels and rejecting things that didn't have the labels match. And I went into that a little bit on I think Sugar Wars episode 1, Surveying the Battlefield, where I just took all the snacks we had at work and just divided them up. But what I want to talk about today a little bit, and TD, feel free to chime in if you have any questions. So this is really the first kind of like meaty update on the Sugar Wars progress, because we're looking at 5 days now. I've been tracking my weight, my waist and chest. My waist initially, I had measured at 65 inches, which I don't think it was, because I measured again today and it was like 55. So either it's gone down 10 inches or I just don't know how to measure myself. So I'm pretty sure that hasn't gone down any. The chest, about the same, maybe down an inch. But the weight, I'm pretty sure, well, first of all, I don't weigh 0 pounds like the stupid scale says. It just goes around the bend. But the weight, I've lost about 5 pounds in 5 days. And I've noticed my energy levels have, I'm not a super energetic person. I don't really have highs, but my lows aren't as low as they were. So that's the first thing that's come up. Now, I've actually had some friends at work who are joining me on this too.
Well, I was going to say, on your first video, you mentioned Mystic Indian setting you on the path, and once I told my wife about it, she goes, maybe we should do that, because my in-laws did the same thing. Well, they may not have gone to the extent that you're doing all added sugar, but like they cut out all desserts. Mm-hmm. They lost all this weight. I mean, they're like in their late 60s now, maybe early 70s, and they're having the same benefits. And so I told my wife about it, and she goes, maybe we should do that. I'm like, thanks a lot, Tom, you mystical Indian. Whereas but she's going to maybe do it like January 1st after all. I mean, because it's a kudos to your resolve for doing this at the absolute worst time of the year for treats.
Well, Buck at work mentioned something about that. He's like, so you just don't like fun? You're doing this in December?
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it at the absolute worst time.
Which is funny.
But it's also funny too, like I was reading this thing, because I didn't even think about the dairy or the egg. I didn't even think about it from a vegan standpoint.
Giving one the Skeletor.
It's really funny, like some of the stuff that I know Tom ate previously as a vegan with the sugar thing, where like he's like, oh, Thin Mints. I'm like, wait, Thin Mints are vegan? And like Reese's Cups, or were Reese's Cups vegan? They are, right?
Reese's, no, Reese's Cups had milk chocolate. Thin Mints was the type of chocolate that was enrobed in delicious, incidentally vegan chocolate. But
there were other treats that I would come over and you would have, and it was funny to see that there's something that are so similar in bandwidth or flavor profile, you would think, right? And you're like, this one is vegan, and then this one isn't.
Yeah.
And so it shows you with the ingredient list, how the vigilance there is beneficial, and when you have certain dietary restrictions, whether for personal choice or allergies. But it's also interesting as you transition into this new diet form, the options that you may have available that you weren't aware of. Now,
Well,
granted, the sugar is restrictive, but then
Yeah.
I know there's a thing where Penn Jillette lost a lot of weight,
Mhm.
and he said he doesn't eat chocolate cake anymore. He puts cocoa powder, like Hershey's cocoa powder, on mixed berries like blueberries and
Okay.
raspberries. He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, it tastes just like chocolate cake to me." I'm like, "Really? You're a liar."
Well, oh, in a way, that's one of the things. So there were a few impetuses to do this that all sort of came into play at once. But to go back, just rewind real quick. You mentioned the mystic Indian, the magical Indian I was referring to in my earlier video was a classmate named John Kevin Neal. He was a year ahead of me at North Cobb High School. He was part Indian. He had participated in his tribe's ghost dance, and like he was in speech class with me. And he was just a really laid back, really cool guy. And he just happened to mention one day he was vegetarian, and I always fall for the soft sell. Like I remember in middle school, my friend Derek Amos, who I went on to room with in UGA at college, he just happened to mention that he liked to write stories, and I was just like, well, I could do that. I'm more prone to susceptibility if somebody just says something offhand or
Right.
incidentally that I'll investigate it myself and make up my own mind. So John Kevin Neal set me down this path a long time ago, and that's what that reference was. But in terms of you mentioned like all the options out there for vegan. It's
Right.
almost gotten, no doubt, it's almost gotten too easy. Like in the 7 years since I became vegan, you had a huge evolution in ice cream, like non-dairy ice
Yeah.
cream. Like Ben and Jerry's has this entire line of non-dairy ice cream, and you also saw the cheese get better. Like I remember
Yeah, you
early
said that
on,
was the one thing that you
Yeah.
you could not find it.
I made no sugar vegan macaroni and cheese this week. That was incredible,
Oh,
just
wow.
incredible. And the weird thing was, like, I would hit a bite of onion that I put in there, and I was like, man, that's a really sweet onion. When's the last time you ever thought to yourself, boy, that onion's sweet?
Actually, that's the wrong choice because I love onions.
Yeah.
And I love the flavor profiles of hot onions and sweet onions.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get a good Vidalia onion, you can.
I don't even think this was Vidalia.
Well,
it was just.
Was it cooked or was it?
Yeah, it was cooked. Yeah.
Cooked onions can bring out a beautiful sweetness out.
Yeah,
but
but
not
to notice
to
it,
notice
yeah,
it and
is
relish it
weird.
is something. Yeah.
But some of the things that happened, like for instance with the cheese, like over the last 7 years, like non-dairy cheese used to be horrendous. I remember taking a bag of it to Little Caesars one time. I was like, could you just try putting this on the pizza? I was getting like a pineapple pizza. It didn't melt. It